Welcome back. So this month's Ride With Me, the May edition, I thought I'd do something a little bit different. So this isn't my commute. I went out for a ride on a Sunday morning through West London, through Chiswick, which is where the new Superhighway is proposed, the next one that they're building in London. And the consultations have been finished, and during that time there were a lot of very loud, shouty groups opposing the cycle lane, including a church, which I can't quite understand why a church would oppose a cycling lane. So I thought I'd go on a ride through here. It is an area I'm a little bit familiar with, because when I first moved to London I lived in Shepherd's Bush, which is near here, and also where I live now is south of the river from Chiswick. So I do know the area a little bit, but I've never actually ridden on a bike through it. So I thought I would go for a ride and see what it's like now. And it's, as you can see, 10 a.m. on a Sunday. The shops aren't open yet and it's already quite busy. It's also quite a wide street, so if you removed the parking that you find on this street, I believe there's plenty of room to put segregated cycling lanes in, and it would not only improve the air pollution, it would also greatly improve the noise levels, which all the cafes and restaurants along here would benefit from, because having had lunch at one in the past, it's very noisy to sit outside there and try to have a conversation. So it would be great to see those things improved along here, because it is a very nice green leafy area and there are lots of cafes and things along this road. So so as I cycled through, it's just an advisory cycle lane on this road that's indicated by the dashed line versus a solid line. I'm not really a fan of painted bike lanes to begin with. Beginner cyclists and, slower cyclists and children, they aren't really beneficial to. And as you can see, I'll be close past numerous times along this stretch, and including this set of lights, which has a row of vehicles with a left turn light. I'm not going left, so what am I supposed to do? They're just cutting me right off. So it's just shockingly bad situation for a cyclist. And because it's advisory, you can park in it. It's just a bit pointless. Paint is not magic, and advisory cycle lanes are a bit pointless because you can ride your bike anywhere in any lane. So they really frustrate me because I don't see the point of them. This road is quite wide, and so I believe the space is there for segregated cycling lanes, and it would make a huge difference. For me, when I first moved to London, I lived in Shepherd's Bush, like I said, is nearby here. I did buy a bike when I first moved to London because I thought it would be a great way to get around, a great way to get to know the city, and I rode that bike once through the residential roads in this area. I would never have attempted a road this busy. I rode down to the Thames, which is probably about 1.5 kilometers, and did a lovely ride along the river and rode that bike home and parked it. I'd like to believe I thought I'd ride it again, but I didn't, because getting to and from the river wasn't very pleasant for me. And, going on recreational rides one thing, but it's not actually that useful day to day. And so, I never rode that bike again. And it, about 4 months later, got stolen. At the time, to my relief. So that was the first attempt of 3 for me to cycle in London. Perhaps I'll tell you the whole story one day. But so I have attempted in the past as a beginner cyclist to cycle around here and didn't find it very pleasant. And so I think this neighborhood would greatly appreciate having protected cycle lanes, especially after having an experience on a Sunday morning down this road, which wasn't very good, with closed passes and, being hooked and all the rest of it. So now I'm coming up into Hammersmith, which is the next neighborhood along, and they have a counterflow bike lane that is protected here, which is nice, but it's only protected on one side. So, if you remove the parking on the other side of this road, I think you could have protected cycle lanes quite easily along both sides here. And what also happens is, further up, that contraflow lane just ends and you get thrown under what's called the Hammersmith flyover, and it's a terribly nasty place to be, a big roundabout with a freeway over your head, and it's just not great. It's not great. It's just hard to navigate. It's, you have to stop for cars all over the place. It's, the cars are priority in that Hammersmith flyover and roundabout. So not a huge fan of the fact that it ends halfway down Hammersmith's shopping street. And also, as you'll see coming up here, because there's only a cycle path in one direction, there was somebody on a scooter using the cycle lane in the wrong direction. Painful. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this month's ride with me through Chiswick and Hammersmith, and I hope you can see why the CS9 would greatly benefit cyclists and the neighbourhood in general, and perhaps, show your support for it and we can maybe get on with building it. It's been talked about as far back as 2008. This iteration of it has been consulted on, has shown approval rating 60% plus, and even along the controversial Chiswick High Road portion is just short of 60% approval rating. So I say let's get on and build it and make this neighbourhood a better place to cycle and be in general. Thanks for watching, guys.